All right, get the engine sorted out here. Now we want to make sure it's not going in. Okay, right on up in the power. Okay, now off power. Off power. All the way. Off power.
Off power.
Uh-huh.
Turn it. Killed it.
No, it's still going.
Power's down.
Uh-huh. So now, to make a landing, the first thing you want to do once you're on final approach is to drive it down to 1 fuselage height above the ground. That means a foot. This airplane is a foot tall. So there we are, touching down, right on up. Left stick forward, all the way. Left stick forward. Good. And there was a nice routine touchdown. Okay, off power. All the way off power. Now you can see that we're in the blue. See? Mm-hmm. We're nothing but blue sky behind us. Let's land over the top of this tree, just because it's the highest thing out there. And see, as long as we're above it, we won't hit it. But now, do you think we're inside of it? I do.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah,
so see, we're that sure when we come in. You know, and we don't have 99% certainty. Okay, right on up. We have 110% certainty. You know, we are so sure that we never miss. Okay, off on power there. So now the blue sky rule says an inch is as good as a mile. What if we went out here to where we think we're pretty much past that tree and we come in here? Now we can nestle in right next to that tree, right there, see? But we won't cross the tree because we don't know when we're past it, see? But we can't hit anything, can we? Because we're in the blue.
That's right.
Now we're coming over here to the runway. Now there's the runway. This is the easiest kind of landing, the one that's out in front of you. See? We're going to touch down. Beautiful. Right on up. Left stick forward. And that one you touch down all by yourself. I got off the stick completely, and by the way, also you're nice and light on the stick, so you're not panicking on me. I mean, I have people with all sorts of different panic levels, you know. And when I say to them, "Hey, you're verging on panic here," they say to me usually, "No, I don't feel that panicky." And I go, "Well, your fingers are telling me a different story, but yours are nice and light. You're receptive to the control inputs that I'm helping with, and I'm just doing a good job." Here again is that easy kind of landing that's out in front. See, when it's out here, you just feel like the pilot. Okay, right on up. Now, if you look at the interval of the landings that we're doing right now, it's around 30 or 35 seconds. Okay, off power. Now, this time we'll do a right traffic approach, just because we went over on this side. So there's 4 ways to land. One is to turn in right from the left, which is what we're doing right now. One is to turn in left from the left, which is what we're doing. And then, of course, there's right and left from the right also. And there we are. Now let's wiggle our wings a little bit just to see what they do. Okay. Now up on power. Now the idle trim is up. Okay, off power there. I'm going to reduce the idle trim just a little and see if we can keep it running, but get it a little bit slower. Because it's kind of flying in,
yeah.
You know, under.
Yeah, it's not.
Now I've reduced it down a little bit. Now notice the blue sky. Yeah. Nothing but blue. We're always in the blue. It's absolutely impossible. The physics of it say that it's impossible to hit something if you don't cross it from our line of sight. That's what the blue sky rule says. If you see it, nothing but blue behind it, except if you're sure you're over the runway. Okay, right on up. In which case the blue sky rule is stopped. Okay, you all the way on power?
No.
Okay, you want to use all the power to go up initially, because we want to be safe as quickly as possible. Okay. And if we use only part of the power, then it's going to take us longer to get safe. And this runway is sort of like an aircraft carrier at sea. if we are not able to get back to this runway, then we're going to land in a tree somewhere. And okay, now we don't want to go left. Good, you're doing some nice correction. Now we're laterally off, so we're going to come back over here to the runway. And see, we're just over those weeds, and there, nice. Up on power. Okay, now off power. You can see that you only need, what, 3 seconds, and then you're safe. This airplane is so gliderish, and if that's a word, and it just gets up there, and you could have no power at all and make it to the back to the field after just about 3 seconds of power. So that's a wonderful time to safety. My airplane might add another second, but either one, 3 or 4 seconds. That was a lateral reversal. I let you go all the way to the point where you were making it, and then I guide you back. But I didn't have to use a lot of force to guide you back. So you're staying light on the stick. Good. Right on up. Now that one you didn't quite flare as much as you might want to, but with a tail dragger configuration, it's a little easier, really. You actually drive it right onto the main wheels. That's called a military landing. You know, none of this 3-point stuff. Let's try a 3-point just for fun. Okay. Since the engine is idling a little bit more, we'll have to get low, and we want a 3-point right in front of us. So see how low we are, but we can't hit anything as long as we hold our wheels in the blue. Okay, the idle seems up a little bit. Just drop it down on the throttle. There. Okay, now up on power. So there was 1 or 2 clicks of power left on there. Okay, off power. Off power. Yeah, and left. Now the track, or the shape of the pattern that we're trying to fly, is the shape of a track. Okay. If you look down from over, there's 2 flat sides, 2 rounded ends. We're going down a flat side now, and halfway up the other flat side is our runway. So here we're making the turn, and we're amending it a bit because we got this lower horizon available. So we like to have that right there, and see. Okay, now let's see if we can hold it off to the 3-point. Well, it's still going by kind of fast, but okay, right on up. And then off power. With this airplane, a couple of seconds and you're safe. Now safe means you're high enough and fast enough to make it back without your engine running. That's the definition of safe.
Okay, right.
And so this airplane gets there. Okay, want to make sure you turn in before you get to that tree.
Oh, okay.
And see how we wiggle our wings a little bit if we want to. Now let's see if we can 3-point it here. Pretty nice, okay? 3-point landings are overblown though. I mean, they really aren't, especially if it's windy. I don't even recommend trying a 3-point landing on a windy condition, because you're going right from a flying condition to a taxiing condition, and it's better to get the main wheels down and then let the tail wheel come down. Let's go out a little further here so that we'll be a little slower when we come in by ourselves. Good. And see, holding it in the blue is what I call this. You just hold it in the blue. And you're doing a nice job here. Okay, it went up a little bit. We didn't really want to do that, but now we're coming down nicely. Okay, right on up. Up on. Left turn. And if you don't want to go so much straight up, then you can push forward on that right stick a little bit. Not to the point where it goes down, but just to where it doesn't go up so much. Okay, now you can come off the power completely. This is probably the nicest flying Cadet Senior I've ever flown. My hat is off to you. You've built a light, beautiful airplane. The engine is wonderful. Now that we've got it to idle all right. Okay, and I think we were out of gas when the other.
Yeah, I was just.
Good. See, now you were forcing it down, but then you bailed out and it went up. See, there's no up in a landing. We're going to come down to this runway. Okay, right on up. So let's look at that again. Now, when you're on a final approach, there's 2 things you must do. The first, and they're sequential. The first thing is you drive it down to the near end of the runway. Not the far end, not the middle, but the near end. Okay. And you do whatever you need to do. Now, for instance, we're up here a little ways, right? So this is going to need a real going down. Oh, that's what we do. We go down early, not late.
Okay.
And it turns into speed, but that's okay because we're going to lose the speed over the runway. And here we are, low, 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 and now we're losing speed. See, losing speed, losing. Good, right on up. Couldn't be much better than that.